Calling all authors, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast, hosted by Robert A. Lane, is on the air, featuring everything you need to know about narrating your own audiobook. But it doesn't stop there. From special guests, including authors and professionals from the book industry, to sharing tools and techniques needed to be a confident and compelling narrator. The journey starts now. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
What do you think about when it comes to branding? What do you think about when it comes to branding your author brand? Do you understand everything that encompasses what your author brand is all about? Let's define your author brand first. Your author brand is everything that encompasses who you are, everything. The way you were brought up, your personality, your sense of humor, the way you speak, the way you express yourself, your core values, your morals, your standards, your habits, your belief systems. Everything about you is what defines your author brand. So understanding that is really crucial, especially as whether you're a nonfiction author or a fiction author. And again, one of the most important things that you need to understand is that your voice, how you sound, how you speak, how you express yourself is a crucial component of what shapes your author brand. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because a lot of authors and just people in general, business people in general, entrepreneurs, they think about branding. Okay, what's my color scheme? How do I want to be presented? Even for authors, what is my book cover going to look like? What are the colors that I'm utilizing? Does it match and express what I want to represent myself as an author? Does it match my website? Do I need a logo? Does my logo colors match my book cover colors and my website colors? Whatever the branding, whatever the colors, whatever the visual aspects of what you think your author brand should be, a lot of people focus on that. And not saying that that's not important, because it is important, but today we're going to really dive into how crucially important it is for your voice, how you sound, how your voice does shape your author brand, because it is such an incredible component. Now, I say this all the time, and I stand by it 100%, and that is first of all nonfiction authors. If you're a nonfiction author and you don't have an audiobook, number one, you got to get an audiobook. All authors, fiction, nonfiction, doesn't matter. You need to have an audiobook because people need to hear you tell your story. And when I say that, I am literally talking about you as the author narrating your own audiobook in your own voice. You need to do it. Again, all nonfiction authors, you do need to narrate your own audiobook because it's obvious. It's your story. No one can tell your story better than you, all right? You lived it, you breathed it, you experienced it, you've written about it. It is part of your life. Whatever that story is, even if you are, maybe it's more than just a memoir. Maybe you're a coach or an entrepreneur and you're teaching something or expressing something or whatever it is, or just even telling a nonfiction story. It's from your perspective. So again, there's a lot of great narrators out there, and they'll do a fantastic job technically, but what is missing, where the disconnect happens, is they didn't experience what you experienced. So they're not going to be able to express exactly the nuances and the subtleties of what you experienced in your story. They're not going to be able to express that and bring that out. Only you can do that. So the way that even a professional, again, technically they will sound good, but there will be a disconnect when it comes to the emotional aspects. And again, the emotional aspects are very, very important. The intangibles, I talk about intangibles all the time on the podcast. Intangibles are those things that you can't physically touch, but you emotionally feel. Those emotions and feelings and all those things, that's what makes a great audiobook. And that is where your voice is shaping your author brand, because you're preserving the integrity of your author brand with how you express yourself, how people hear you. Very, very important. So let's talk about a few things in regards to your author brand, okay? First of all, your tone of voice. It's really important. How you sound is really important. Now, going along with that is One of the things that I deal with when I help coach authors through my audiobook coaching program, which is called Your Book, Your Voice. By the way, there are links in the description. Check them out. You can find out more about the audiobook coaching program there. You can also go to robertlanecoaching.com as well. But again, what I talk about is confidence, because you got to love your voice and appreciate this wonderful sound that comes out of your body, because again, your voice is shaping your author brand. So love this wonderful sound that comes out of your body. You got to do that. Number one, before you do anything, is love and appreciate and have confidence in this great sound that comes out of your body, and just believe and understand that you do have what it takes to do a great audiobook narration. You have the tools, you have the everything that you need. That's why I coach authors. If you need help coaching, that's what I do. You don't have to be a professional speaker. You can still do a great job narrating your own audiobook, and you will. You absolutely will. But having confidence, that's number one. All right, so now, how does your voice shape your author brand? Well, let's talk about your tone of voice. How do you present yourself? What is your tone communicating to the people that are listening to you, that will listen and hear your audiobook narration, or even when you speak? When you talk about your book, when you talk about whatever that you've written about, how do you present yourself? How's your tone? Is it warm? Do you present warmth, or do you present authority? Confidence. Remember, confidence is key. Do you also express vulnerability in your tone? Are you approachable? And most importantly, are you expressing authenticity? Now, I mentioned about those intangibles. These are all things that are intangibles. Warmth is an intangible. Authority is an intangible. Vulnerability is an intangible. Confidence, approachability, authenticity, these are all intangible. Sincerity. These are all great aspects of what makes you, you, and what allows you to stand out in a crowd. All these things are so crucial and important as part of your author brand, by expressing and preserving the integrity of your author brand by how you sound. It's so important. Another aspect to think about when you are shaping your author brand is pacing. How do you express yourself? How do you talk? Are you a fast talker? Are you a slow talker? You can obviously, when you're narrating your own audiobook, control your pacing. Now, you do want to be your true, authentic self. Hands down. If you talk a little fast, that's fine, as long as people understand and they can understand what you're saying, but they also understand that this is who you are and this is how you communicate, and that's fine. But pacing is also a really good thing that does shape your author brand. So, for example, if you talk fast, or let's just say you have a faster pace, because I just don't want to say, oh, you talk fast, because if people are like blah, 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 talking really, really fast, that can be a distraction, and people are going to be, huh, what you say? And you don't want that. But pacing can help and help you express what you want to express as an author. For example, maybe if you talk a little bit faster, a fast pace may feel more energetic, may feel it could make you feel that you're an expert, but I think that fast pacing, or whether you're talking the fast pace or slow pace, either or, when it comes to presenting your expertise or telling your story, either can work. But maybe a faster pace makes you seem youthful, right? Or let's talk about slow pacing. Maybe a slower pace creates the listener to feel that you're grounded, that you are an authority in your space that you're talking about, that authoritative speaking, that pacing is important. Or maybe it's just being more thoughtful. And it also brings out emotion too, because when you slow down and you're talking about something that may be intense emotionally, slowing it down for the listener to really absorb what you're saying, and then to also absorb the emotion and the feeling that you're expressing, that slower pace allows the listener to do that. Again, really locks them in. Just want to throw this out for people who are like, I don't know if I want to narrate my own audiobook. Well, you should. And I did mention earlier why. But remember, you're developing an intimate relationship really with that listener. They're hearing you tell your story. They feel like you're telling your story directly to them. Like you're sitting across from each other and they're just on their edge of their seat, listening to you tell your story. That's the connection that you establish when you narrate your own audiobook. Again, fiction, nonfiction, doesn't matter. You need to tell your own story. But pacing is key. Now, in the audiobook coaching program that I teach, of course, we talk about these things. That's all part of the coaching process, about how to bring out the best when it comes to your intangibles. And obviously, we talk about the technical aspect, mic placement, all that stuff, setting up your recording space, how to do a great narration from a technical standpoint, eliminating, or I should say, reducing mouth noises, breathing patterns. Again, those things about being grounded is important. So we talk about that as well, but then pacing too. Now, I want to make sure that, and I do this with all my authors, that you are expressing yourself the way that you normally talk. And if you talk with a little faster pace, fine. If you talk with a little slower pace, that's fine. But as long as it's enjoyable for the listener. Because I don't want to mess around with the way that you deliver, and I don't with my clients. If there's something that is super long, like a really long gap in between a paragraph or a sentence, well, that's one thing. Or if something is rushed and it just doesn't sound right or feel right, then I'll make an adjustment. But your overall pace is preserved, because preserving your author brand is exactly what you're doing when you're narrating your own audiobook. And we want to, again, preserve the integrity of your author brand. I'm going to be saying that a lot during this podcast. All right. So pacing and energy is really, really crucial. Now, I did mention about authenticity because, as I say, your voice does shape your author brand, and being your true authentic self, you can't be anything else. So don't try to sound like radio DJ person. Don't try to say, oh, Morgan Freeman is great, narrator, when he did Shawshank Redemption. I want to sound just like him. And that's fine for Morgan Freeman, but that's not fine for you, because that's not who you are. Remember, you are representing your author brand, and that author brand, as I defined it at the beginning of this podcast, is everything that encompasses who you are. You're not Morgan Freeman. You are you. All right. You are the CEO of you. I love throwing out that catchphrase. I even have it on the back of my book. My book, Lights Action You, which I published about 3 years ago. It's been 3 years. You are the CEO of you, because you are an entrepreneur. Remember, author brand. You are an entrepreneur. This is your product, your ebook, your paperback, your hardcover, and especially your audiobook and your voice. Okay. The other thing that really defines who you are and your author brand is even the little imperfections, right? Even these things that you're like, oh, I hate it. I don't like how I sound. Whether maybe your voice is a little raspy, maybe you sound like Rod Stewart, right? When Rod Stewart sings, he's got that raspiness, right? But you know what? That defines who he is, and what does that make him? 100% identifiable. When you hear him sing, that's Rod Stewart, right? Or maybe you're like, oh, I got a Southern accent. I'm from the South. Or maybe, I'm living in the United States, but I'm from the UK and I got a UK accent. Or maybe vice versa. You're from the United States, but you're living in the UK. And of course, you have an accent to them. Right? It doesn't matter, because that's who you are. That, again, all of that encompasses who you are, and that does shape your author brand. So maybe you have a little raspy voice. That's okay. If it's not like Marge Simpson on steroids, then you're okay. All right. Matter of fact, I think if Julie Kavner, who does the voice for Marge Simpson, if Julie Kavner narrated her own audiobook, I would love to listen to it. Because she sounds like Marge Simpson. But of course, as she does her character, it's a little more pronounced. But, I don't find it irritating or, like nails on a chalkboard. I find it very entertaining. So don't worry about little imperfections, right? We're not perfect. And that's a good thing, because that's what makes us so unique. That's what allows you to stand out in the crowd. That's what makes people discover you, because you are unique. I give this analogy again about, let's say you wrote a book about your coaching business, right? Coach A, Coach B, you both have equal qualifications with what you do in your space. But why does one client work with Coach A and not with Coach B and vice versa? Because they have a uniqueness about who they are, about how they teach, that resonates with certain people. And that's what draws those people in that want to work with that coach. Same thing with me when I coach my authors who go through the audiobook coaching program that I teach. We have a meeting. I talk to every author before I enroll anybody into my program because I want to make sure that we resonate with each other. Do you resonate with me? And do I resonate with you? Because we're going to have a working relationship. You know, if you sign up for the VIP program, we spend 12 weeks together as I coach you one-on-one throughout the entire audiobook creation process. So we're going to be working together. So we got to make sure that we gel. And that's really important. Same thing with your author brand. Again, using that coaching analogy. Now, even if you wrote a nonfiction book and you wrote a memoir, you're still going to resonate with certain people. And maybe some other people won't resonate with you, but that's okay. Because you want people to enjoy and love your book, your brand, and of course your audiobook as well. So your voice is all part of your author brand. It really is. What else do we want to talk about? What else can I share with you? There's so many great things that encompasses who you are as an author and how important that voice is and how you sound. Because when you record your audiobook, and again, I've had several authors who've gone through my audiobook coaching program, they've gotten speaking gigs through their audiobook by sending it, giving organizations or community groups or wherever they want to speak, whether it's a big convention or small event, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, here's a copy of my audiobook. This is what I sound like. Here's a copy of my book. This is where you can read it and understand what I talk about and what I want to share with your group. And it's a great thing because you know what? These authors who are not professional speakers go out and they do it. They do speaking gigs. And guess what? Now they're a professional as far as I'm concerned. Because if you get booked on a speaking gig and you're getting paid to speak to an audience, you're a professional. You are. And you just continue to hone your craft. And that's another great thing about narrating your own audiobook, because you're honing your craft. You will be a better speaker. You will have more confidence. If you feel nervous or shy about talking in front of an audience, putting yourself in front of a microphone, even when you're by yourself in your own recording space. I mean, I have authors who they look at the microphone and like, I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. Of course you can. You absolutely can. And it does build confidence. So then when you publish your audiobook and you got your ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook out there in the world, and now you're going to book speaking gigs. Of course you are. Of course you are. And you will get them too. Another great way to continue to train your voice and present your author brand the way you want to present it is get out there, right? Do a podcast tour, get on podcast interviews, express yourself and talk about your book and promote your audiobook. Talk about it. Yeah, it's great, man. It is great. Or maybe you want to create and start your own podcast. Why not? Why not? And there are some great organizations and companies out there that will help you book podcasts, okay? Do a little research. You want to find legit ones, good ones, but they are out there. Other things that you can do to keep working and promoting yourself and your voice, and why your voice is so crucial as part of your author brand, is when you do live streams. Or maybe you create a workshop or a webinar, or, that's a great way to talk about your book, to express how you wrote your book and what it's about, and they're hearing it from the source. And that's another great thing about narrating your own audiobook, is that you are preserving your legacy in your own voice. People are hearing your story from the source. They are hearing it from the person who wrote it and created it. It's coming from first person, and that is so important. One of the books that I'm working on is a fiction book, but it was written by the person who's narrating it, her husband had passed away. He wrote the books, but you know what? She's narrating her husband's audiobook. And she's doing such a great job of telling the story. It's a great story. I'm excited. I'm getting close to the end of the story, and I'm just chomping at the bit as I'm doing all the editing and cleaning it up and getting it prepped for publishing on, where all of the distribution platforms that she wants to be on. But I'm loving the story, and she's doing a great job of telling that story. So yeah, I'm telling you, fiction books are great. So if you're a fiction writer, you can narrate your own audiobook. But again, she's expressing herself just like you are. You will be expressing yourself the way you need to. And then put yourself out there, right? Just put yourself out there, because your author brand, if you're doing an interview, or if you're even doing coaching sessions, or even when you create, social media posts, reels, or TikTok or shorts, or whatever you want to call them for whatever social media platform that you're on, you're using your voice. Your voice is a representation of who you are and what your author brand is all about. So that's why it is so important. It is so important to be authentic. It is so important to not think of your audiobook, or even doing any of these things of putting yourself out there, as a performance. You don't need to perform. You just need to be you. That's what draws people to you, because it's your authenticity. All right. And again, you stand out in the crowd. It's your voice. There's no one else out there who expresses themselves the way that you do. That's why I say you are the CEO of you. And one of the great things that you can do if you don't have an audiobook is make a fantastic business decision by turning your book into an audiobook. And if you haven't done it, by all means, do it. Do it. The audiobook world continues to grow and expand at an exponential rate. You got to have your book out there as an audiobook, and you need to narrate it yourself. So do me a favor. Why don't you go to robertlanecoaching.com, go to my website, book a call. All right. Schedule a call. There's links in the description, by the way, for booking a call. And let's talk about your book. Let's find out not only what your book's about, but maybe what your marketing goals are, and where would be the best place to have your audiobook published. Audible, Amazon, Apple, and any of those other distribution platforms that are out there, libraries, Barnes & Noble, Google, whatever, Spotify, wherever wherever you want your audiobook. We talk about those things. And then I'll give you more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. All right. Because it is a great program that you and I work together. If you want to do the VIP program, it's a 12-week program. Again, links are in the description. Check it out. We work together one-on-one. I give you the equipment that you need, a professional microphone, headphones, everything that you need to set up your own recording space. And you know what? That's all yours to keep. The equipment is yours to keep. All right. That's part of it. I give you, the equipment's worth like, at least $400, $500, but that's part of the program. You get to keep it. All right. So that when you go out on your podcast tour, you got a great microphone. You're going to sound fantastic. And I don't supply my clients with cheap equipment. You got to have the good stuff, man. You got to have the good stuff. No cutting corners, period. And then I work with you one-on-one through the entire process, not only coaching you, but as you record your audiobook, you're sending your audio files to me. And I've been doing audio editing for 30 plus years. And I will clean your audio up and make sure it meets the exact specifications for publication. And I'll even upload your audio for you, so you get published in Audible, Amazon, Apple, and any other distribution platform that you want to be on, and know 100% that your audiobook will be published correctly the first time. No rejections. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And for those of you who maybe like to do things on your own, the do-it-yourself audiobook coaching program is available. Again, link in the description. Check it out. DIY, man. I'll teach you how to edit your own audiobook and to upload it and do all those things if you want to be very hands-on. And, and I designed that program you can get it done in 6 weeks if you get yourself focused and you hold yourself accountable. Though most of my clients do love the VIP treatment, so I love giving them that as well. So book a call, right? Do it, right? That's one of the best decisions that you can make as an author. So remember, your voice does shape your author brand. Your voice is more than just a color scheme, right? The color of your voice. That's important. So when you think of branding, Don't just only think about the visual aspect. The audible aspect of who you are, especially as an author, is crucial. But the first thing you need to do is get that audiobook out there, okay? Record your audiobook, get it out there. If you need help to do it, book a call with me. It's that simple. Go to robertlanecoaching.com. I got buttons everywhere to book a call, and let's have a conversation, because you do work with me one-on-one. I don't send you off to some intern somewhere, right? You do work with me one-on-one. All right, my friends, I want you to have a fantastic week. I'm going to wrap things up here on the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. But before we go, here's your assignment. When you're out and about in the world, smile at a stranger, say hello to them, because that small gesture of kindness can make the world a difference in somebody's life. And we need to spread more positivity in this world. So be a life changer. All right? It's simple. Be good humans. I'm Robert A. Lane. Go to robertlanecoaching.com for more information about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. Have a great week. We'll be talking to you next week on the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Take care, my friends.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode. And remember, only you can narrate your story the way it's meant to be heard.